Yeah, it's fun raising your rates. Everybody loves that.
Exactly. And I hate the pressure. It's a lot of pressure, Richard.
Well, you're afraid you're going to lose the client, and you're really not. They all understand.
They
So
do. They
I,
absolutely do.
I'm Rich G.
And I'm BJ Flagg, and this is episode 249, Raise Your Rates Without Losing Customers.
Yes, we're actually going to charge more now for this podcast. We're really sorry.
Yes. We wanted to tell all of you.
Yeah, we've been conditioned by 20 years of low inflation and price sensitivity, and we're leaving a lot of money on the table. So you need to raise your rates.
Yeah, it is time. And it's time to just understand what all the philosophy behind it is.
Yeah.
So I'll dive right in and start us off. The first thing that you really need to understand is look at your expenses and understand your margin. A lot of people will, you've been kind of reading and listening to the news about the runaway inflation and think, oof, I am so glad my business is impervious to this. But it's not. It's not. Raising rates is in every single corner of our businesses right now. And you need to be aware where the costs are starting to creep up.
And BJ, you're absolutely right. Most of these things just creep up. And suddenly you realize, I don't have enough money to pay the bill. So look at your budget you built back late last year. Did you plan for these rising prices? In most cases, not 50% in fuel or 20% in food and business materials. Look at your major increases and take them all into account.
Yeah. If you've had a built-in margin, which is such a good idea, how close are you getting to the top of that cushion? Some of these costs will definitely, are going to go down due to supply and demand as they level out, but some are here to stay. This will inform you as to what actions you need to be taken to maintain your cost and your cushion.
Yeah. Action 2, understand what's really driving your concerns. Your biggest expense is employees in most cases. They will be coming to you for increased wages and additional bonuses to supplement their budget. We're all getting squeezed right now, and you don't want to lose your best people for a 5 or 10% increase that you could offer.
Right. And in most cases, we're not talking about those 5 or 10% increases. Yeah. We're talking about a specialty person who you need because of your business changing, and they're asking for 50% additional. So sizable numbers here. But you also need to understand your business infrastructure and requirements and how to be prepared for the possible increases in, things like utilities, rent, insurance, transportation, technology. It's everywhere.
Yeah, work with your accountant and bookkeeper to get a better handle on what's going up and what the impact is on your budget. At the end of the day, you might be veering into the negative unless you absolutely raise your rates.
Right. And you have to feel educated at this point, that you're making a good decision about it. Action 3 is creating a script to discuss the rates. This is always the touchy part. Now you know which clients will be affected by the rate increases. Not, maybe not all that, maybe not all of them have to be increased, but you do still need to be ready with a script to describe the increases and the timetable to, each of the accounts affected.
Yeah, you may be able to keep all the increases to any new accounts that come in. Still, describe to your other clients what's happening so that just in case at the end of the year, you need to also increase their fees. Keep them updated on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And, and if you're bound to a contract, look and see if there is a built-in clause in the contract that calls out extraordinary, price increases. If there isn't, you might get pushback, and you need to be ready for that. And of course, make sure that any contract from there going forward has that clause. I don't think a lot of people could have seen 50% in fuel prices.
Yeah. What's interesting is that even if you're bound to a contract, you can be honest with your customer or your client and say, look, I might have to bow out from providing your service if you don't raise your rates. If you're honest with them and you go, look, I'm getting hit all over the place. They have a budget. They understand. They've talked about it. They're going to try as hard as possible to keep you on that contract. But if you're reasonable with them, they might be able to add a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Well, here's the action 4 is you need to be brave and just do it. You could do the other 3 things, but you really need to just talk to your current customers, new customers. Just be brave. It's time to put your big boy, big girl pants on. We're all afraid of broaching that topic, but you have a script, so stick to it. Look at it as if you're tearing off a Band-Aid and pulling it all off at once, then very slowly. Just say, look, I'm going to have to raise my rates. We're renewing, we're going to have to raise our rates. Everybody's going on. How does that sound to you? And have a discussion about it.
That's the biggest thing. We had a person come in and they would do these lawn signs, like 200 lawn signs. And we used to use this one specific type of lawn sign. And the rate on them had gone up so dramatically and they were hard to get. So we said to them, we're not going to be able to fulfill this contract. And they said, well, what are the alternatives? And we described a more lean kind of, solution, and we could keep the rate the same. And they were like, oh my God, we love those more. We want those. Well, it didn't turn out to be an issue at all. They absolutely loved them. We had a client who, in paper's a big issue, right? Can't get certain types of paper. And they went, oh no, we really like this smooth paper. This is going to be great. Boom. No problem. I could get that paper in. So sometimes just talking it through.
Yeah. And sometimes when you just tell the clients, look, we're renewing, I'm going to have to raise my rates. They understand. And if you're providing a service or product to them that they need, they'll pay for it. You just have to ask. And again, have a discussion. If they go, I really can't, you go, then you can maybe lower it or stay the same, but figure it out. You can't go on forever. So what's our resource this week, PJ?
Oh, you're going to like this book. It's called Charge More, Earn More: How to Confidently Increase Prices Without Losing Customers. It was written by Roman Kmenta.
Yeah, he's the owner of Mentos, right? The fresh maker.
No.
Mentos. He owns Mentos.
No, different guy.
The fresh maker. No, professional price management is an essential success factor for most companies. So you really need to manage your pricing.
Yeah. And, a particular challenge in raising the price for existing customers in such a way that, a customer remains a customer. You've built such a strong trust relationship. This is when you're supposed to lean on it. This is where you lean on it. So you're not just raising it to raise it. You're raising it for reasons. So
therefore, it's important to know and implement a number of decisive strategies for you and your customers. So this is a great book. Book.
I like
he makes great candy too. He makes good candy.
Well, you know where to find us. BJ is at nearrenew.com and Rich is richg.com. And we are happy to say that we fully believe in this decision.
Yes. And we're not charging you anymore for our podcast. Thanks to our producer, Richard Scalzo, for always delivering the best small business podcast every Tuesday.
Have an unbelievable week and catch you later.